All right, Jackie, we are so excited to have you on. For those who don't know Jackie, she actually was a previous business partner with Melissa for Melissa Gorga of Real Housewives of New Jersey. And you co owned, or you actually, you'll have to
Owned.
tell us, you
Yeah.
owned Envy by MG. And you're writing a tell all book about the experience. And we had the opportunity to read like part of the manuscript, and the book is so good, guys. So it definitely gives you a perspective of things behind the scenes and all of that good stuff. And you even have your assistant of 13 years, Susie, here with you. Hi, Susie.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, and Susie witnessed a lot of what's happened. So we just have so many questions for you, and we are so excited to have you on. By the time we publish this, we're going to your book will be out, and I think you have
Yes.
it on seven different platforms, is what I understand. But you have it; it's going to be available on
Correct.
Amazon, Barnes and Noble. What else?
It'll be on let's see, it'll be on Costco, it'll be Costco, Walmart,
Good.
Target, and it will be on what is
The
the
other one, the one that,
QVC,
yeah,
QVC,
Oh,
QVC.
and
nice.
also Barnes and Noble
Yes.
and Apple.
Good. Yeah,
So
nice.
yes.
Awesome. I'm glad you're getting your story out. And I definitely wanted to give you a voice too and get this out there for you because we're all about hearing all the sides, the truth, all of that. And we're going to ask you a little bit stuff about the book, but we want people to go and get the book. We also have just like a lot of questions that weren't on the book about your experience. We asked our Patreon listeners to come up with questions. They're so excited. All our listeners are so excited about
Mhm.
this
Great. Thank you.
interview. Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you
of
Yeah.
very much for
course.
having us.
Well, so I just want to start off by before we get into like all the questions. Why do you think so? And you guys have to read this in the book, but Melissa comes to Jackie about opening up a boutique together. Why do you think Melissa came to you specifically? I know you have a boutique and you talk about that, but a lot of people own boutiques. Why would she come up to you specifically to partner up for a boutique?
Hmm.
Well, the deal is like we met them in Florida. Some of our clients, they were friends with our clients, and they brought them to the store one night. And then they went on to eat dinner. And I said, "Hey, if you come back to the store later, I'll shut the store because we stayed open late till like 1 o'clock on the weekends because it's
Yeah.
busy down there on Atlantic Avenue in Delray. So I'll shut the store, and you guys can try on clothes and take what you want. Just do me a favor, just post the clothes for us when you try them on, and give us a push here. It's always good to have some celebrity, push there. So we did this for years with them. We sent them clothes and she would post, at first a lot more than she, did later in the time frame. But that's how we got started. And that's when she called me when she wanted to open a store, basically for a storyline. So that's how that whole thing started.
Did she say she wanted us like, did she say she was doing it for a storyline, or did she say, like, "This is something that I'm passionate about," or why would she need
Mm.
you?
She was passionate about having a store. I mean,
Okay.
that'll say she likes fashion, but I believe that she wanted me because, she knew that I probably had the money to do it since we sent them clothes all the time. It was the right thing to do. I think she felt.
Our
Right.
boutique was great in Delray Beach too. It was a really good. It was a really great, unique boutique. So it would have been great to have an extension of something that good.
Yeah, we wanted to do another store. Really, that was our thinking, kind of at that time, is that we would love to have another one. That's when retail was great and everything wasn't online,
Hmm.
so to speak.
Right.
Yeah.
And it
Do
was it was smart for you guys to team up with someone that has, social media influence that's on a show. Like to me, if I'm a business person, I'm like that makes sense for me in the beginning, like to team up with someone like that. And we've seen it before. Kyle did it on Beverly Hills with somebody. She had
Yeah.
a boutique
Yeah.
Yeah,
that said by Kyle Richards. So like like from other people's point of view to team up with her, it would make sense, if I was a business
right.
person.
Yes.
And Kyle had done it before, but
Yes.
they
Yes.
started that before we did. So we kind of that's how she kind of got the idea. I believe is through Kyle doing that with somebody down here in Boca, actually.
Yes.
wasn't Kyle's store called Kyle by Elaine? So she actually gave her business partner some credit too.
She did. She sure
Yeah.
Yeah.
did. Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
but then Melissa comes to you with Envy by MG, and did you ask her,
Uh,
"Why do you want to
well,
call it
she was.
Envy?"
We were talking about names, right, Susie? About names for the store,
Yes.
and we gave her a bunch of great names. We thought like tons of great names, and she came back one day and she goes, "I know what I'm going to name the store. Envy by
Oh
MG."
my.
We're like, "Okay."
So that was her
Very
personality, wasn't it?
Yeah,
That was
it's
yeah.
her
who she
personality.
was.
She wanted people to envy her. That's like, I gotta say, there's a reason I call her me, Lissa.
I
Yeah.
was I
Yeah,
was just gonna bring that up. It's funny that you call her me, Lissa, and then we now all call her me liar because
I
it's
know.
just like
I heard
it's
that.
just a thing. And I'm gonna read a part in your book, and I want you to kind of talk about it. You do talk about in
Sure,
your book, but for our
sure.
listeners, you said it wasn't just the lies that bothered me. The constant pursuit of money to fulfill her desires became increasingly unbearable. Right from the start, something fell off. So, what was your first point where you felt something was off with her and with the store?
Okay. Well, the first kind of things that I noticed was like, well, the first part is that when we did the build out of the store,
That's right.
they, charged us, the full price. Joe built the store out, and they charged us full price to build the store out, which I really didn't understand because you think he might give us a break on it, that we're doing this storyline for his wife, and I got to travel back and forth every freaking week to do this stupid thing that,
And pay for it.
right, and pay
And
for it.
you're paying for it. That's disgusting. You're her
Yes.
partner, you're
Yes,
paying for
correct.
it, and he's not even giving you a discount or saying, "This is for my
Oh
wife
no.
and her partner. Let me hook them up." So you're paying all
No,
for it,
No.
and
no.
and you're using him. You're giving him the business.
Exactly. We could have had anyone do the store. We could have had anyone do
Right.
it.
And
But
like
she
I think in your
also, yeah, go ahead.
yeah,
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead, sorry. No, go ahead.
The other thing that went along with that is that we came to visit one day, and I think I spoke about this, and she had the wallpaper all done. And I was like, oh, I don't remember
Oh, yeah.
picking out the wallpaper for the store. And it was like, that kind of wallpaper that's like older than the
Old
hills. And
fashioned.
like, I was just like, oh man. So I thought to myself, Jack, you can make a big deal out of this and you're going to go nowhere because those kind of relationships, business relationships are fragile. And you don't want to start off the top by like, you didn't tell me, you didn't do this, you didn't do this. I was like, forget it. It's not that big of a deal to me. I just wonder what I paid for that wallpaper. That's all.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
in your book, you did say that it was like around 180,000 for the build out. So it was not cheap, like to build. And it's a smaller boutique. It wasn't like a
very
huge
small.
store.
Yeah,
Yeah, small.
very small.
They put in
Wow.
these cabinet like thing, well, these closet like things in there, which is really old fashioned. Nobody was doing that at the time. I was like, oh my god, we're stepping back into the '60s here. So she just was set on doing these closets that they come out of the wall and they look like part of your closet, and they take up a ton of room. So we did this all the way around the room. So it took our square footage away to like where there's not much to put anything on the floor. So that was really a buzzkill to me, but she insisted on doing it, and that and I know for a fact that that did cost over $30,000 because I was like, what the heck for the closets? I'm like, can't we just do it the way I wanted to? I wanted to hang them like they were doing in New York at the time, hang the bars from the ceiling and have a cement polished floor and call it a day because you get so
Right.
much more bang for your buck that way,
But why would she care? She's not paying for it. So she
But
And
wants to
she
do
was,
guess
whatever
what?
because she's
but
not
she
paying for it.
thought she was. In her mind,
She owned it.
reality is the unreality is reality. Okay, she's been on the show too long, I think, and
Yeah.
she believed that it was her money
Yeah, I
coming
think
out
she
of
Right.
did
her
kind of think it
pocket.
was her money.
Because I will tell you an example. I did the credit cards. I did all the business, the money for the store, and she would, and I would have to talk to her all the time, and she would ask me about why if Jackie was spending money on the personal, excuse me, money on the credit card. And I had to sit there because Jackie got one, she got one from the accountant, exactly what was spent and, why it was spent. And I said, Melissa, because she was not, sorry, I'm going to say it, she's not the smartest bed in the rocks. Anyway, she said, Susie, I said, Melissa, listen to me. It's a store. You have to pay for the clothing. You have to pay for the people
Right.
that your sales up. You have to pay for the electricity, the accountant, the lawyer. I said, Jackie spent not 1 cent on that card. That was her personal money coming back and forth, putting parties on here and everything else. I mean, she couldn't even understand that.
Well, and regardless, Jackie was paying for everything, so it doesn't even matter if Jackie decided to, because she was paying the bills, she
Well,
was paying everything. You guys
Jackie's
weren't
Exactly.
gaining money anyways from the business in the
exactly,
beginning. No
but she
business does.
she it doesn't matter because she thought it was her money.
Yeah,
Right.
I'll tell you another funny story about that. You'll read it in the book, and I'm not going to give it away, but
Yeah,
there's
Yeah, you
a
don't have
bit of
to.
a there's a little bit of a problem with kind of why this part ownership came into play, and it's probably my fault, and I admittedly so.
Mm.
But I'll let you read the book to find out exactly why she kind of had this ownership thing going on.
Right.
But she got paid, for all of the internet sales. This was her deal. She got paid for all of the internet sales until they paid us back for the build out. So she was getting paid 20% net on everything that we sold on the internet. And we started doing really well on the internet. It was
Yes.
crazy. But when the show aired, so she was doing all right. Meanwhile, I'm in debt, up to my what, but she got paid. So that's what counts, right? So there you go.
Right, the fact that she's getting paid out and you guys aren't even making money yet, it should be, "Let's make our money back, and then we both get paid out."
That's how it was supposed to be. But
And
Right,
she had a fit. It just I mean, she was like there was no way that was gonna work. As it is, she didn't really like after we started this whole thing, she's kind of stepped away because she was mad that she wanted this and that, and we were like, we can't do that.
right.
That's not what the contract is. The operating agreement. So she didn't post for us. She wouldn't no,
No.
not at all. And I was like, oh my God, this is a
So it's
mess.
So
it's
Jack
it's
was
under her name, and she's not posting for you guys, and this is, like,
correct.
her business.
Correct.
And she didn't
Her
Crazy.
want
storyline. Her
and
storyline.
and she didn't want the other housewives, which would have been the most fabulous,
This was my
advertising,
goal.
is the other housewives to wear any of the clothes before her. What a wonderful advertising it would have been for them to all wear. No, she didn't want that. She had to wear the clothes first.
Our idea was that we would dress the housewives, whenever they wanted.
Yeah.
We'll set them up. And
Right.
she would not let anyone wear any clothes until she wore them first, which ruined the whole thing. It just fell
It's
flat.
all
It's
about her. I think she used
that's all
you
it was.
for processes, how to order clothes, where to
Totally.
order clothes to get everything up. And then once she had it and she knew all the tricks, she's like, I don't need you. Like, I'm going to do what I want. And it ended up,
Yes.
having you walk away from it. So she, in her head, was like, whatever. I would have never been able to do this on my own. I would have never been able to start something like
Well,
this on my own.
I spent every Saturday morning with her ordering
Yeah, she knew
clothes.
the process.
Jack,
No
I
way.
mean, I had to sit there and do it with her. Okay,
Right.
we went through all the clothes, my whole Saturday mornings with
Ordering
with
clothes with her.
Miss Melissa Gorga.
Yeah, she didn't even.
Yeah.
It came to the point where I bought all the clothes, but I mean I paid for them, and I used to do the buying, and of course I made different sizes because I did run the demographics on that area,
Yep.
and it's older people that travel into the city. There's a lot of money there, but they're older and bigger. Let's face it,
Right.
and so we try to do a
Nope.
size range from like 2 to
8.
16, 18
Yeah,
at
yeah,
least.
yeah.
I mean, like some of the brands I did just bigger sizes, and oh man, that was not going to cut it.
She had a hard
She had a
time,
real hard time
man.
with that.
She
So
wanted
she
all
didn't want.
zeros.
Wow.
Yeah, she wanted all of her clothes to be
Small.
small, and that's all she's going to pay for. But let me tell you about. Go
Wait,
back
can
to
I
split
ask? So
decision.
Melissa
Yes.
Gorka didn't want it to be she didn't want to target plus size people.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. That's what I wanted to
Wow.
do is make it. I would actually wanted to start a whole separate store for plus sizes, for like bigger sizes,
wow.
and she wouldn't have any part of any plus sizes. Like
Mm-mm.
she just threw a fit, and
Nope.
I was like, wow, man.
Nope.
But let me go back
Wow.
to that one part where you were saying that, about the the story you were saying before that. You said, let's see, before we talked about Melissa being in the store. I can't remember exactly what you said. Something about her.
Involved, if like she was involved.
Okay, yeah. I do not. She did not own that store when whoever else came in and took over. She did not own that store. She found someone else to go in with her. I
Oh,
100% believe that that's the case. And I
okay.
don't think she owns the store now that's in Ridgewood. I do not
Okay.
think she owns it. No,
Wow.
I
So
do
Wow.
that's
not
what your
think
next
so.
question is. Like, do you think that envy now, the envy that is she's displaying or she promotes, like, do you think that store is doing well?
Is
You
it
know
making
what?
a profit?
I would say probably not because most stores aren't, and I don't see anything great in her store. And I know the size range that she'll go for, and I don't look at her. I look at her fashion. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I could take that or leave it. I mean, it's 12-year-old kind of
The
styles.
same
It's
stuff she
the
had
same stuff she
before.
had
Yeah.
before, and I don't see. I don't know.
Do
There,
you believe she's actually opening up a second store?
What she
D-
says she is. I'll believe it when I
No, I
see it.
don't
And
And this
believe
is like
yeah.
the worst time in
ever
history to
history
ever
of
do that.
ever.
But she gets
Ever.
excited, and this is when we start talking about lies, and this isn't the first time she said she's opening up a second store,
I
but it's
Yeah.
like,
know.
the world's in a recession right now. You're gonna
And
open
she's
up a
gonna open
second
another
store?
So,
in a retail store. You just got to be kidding
Right.
me. Nobody
Right.
goes to retail
yeah,
stores anymore. I like it. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
doesn't happen that
She
way.
lives on Fantasy Island.
Yeah,
Right.
she does because and if it is,
It's not her
she is
money.
opening it. It's not her money. I can
Yeah,
promise you that.
Right.
not her money.
I
Have
would
you
I
guys
would
seen
bet the
ha-
farm on it.
have you guys seen like the stuff about the Amazon? Like she just basically buys clothes from, the Amazons or the Sheins and then she just marks them
Wow.
up.
Yeah, we see
Okay.
that.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
guarantee you
Well,
she
no,
does
we
that.
don't know if she gets it from Amazon. She can get it from the same distributor, but she ends up marking it times 4
Yes.
when
We
you
know
can see it
somebody
on
else.
Amazon
Yeah.
for way cheaper.
We know somebody else who does the same thing
Yes,
here.
we do.
So I'm telling you, that's what they do. Because I
Right.
made that mistake, like, oh, this is kind of cute, but it is not worth what they're asking for. And then I see it's all over Amazon. And I'm like,
Exactly.
are you kidding me? Everything's on Amazon now. Even
Right.
expensive brands are on Amazon. So
That's right.
you can't pull a fast one on people. They know.
Oh yeah, my tip every time I walk into boutiques, and no offense to you guys, is I always will look up the brand
Heck
or
yeah.
look up
Yes.
something similar, take a picture. Chantel always what is it? Google reverse the
Yeah.
Yep.
image,
Yeah.
Reverse
and you will
images.
see all the prices. And I'm like, yeah, I don't need to buy this. It looks good on me. Great. I got to try it on. Now I'm going to order it online where it's significantly cheaper because all boutiques kind of have to up the price a little bit. But the way
Yep.
she ups the price for something that's like $29.99 is
25.
insane. But that goes to show you she needs the money. She's not doing very well at the store. So they have to do that and hope that people who are traveling or touring can, buy that and not think twice about it.
Yeah.
Totally.
We
That's
had
what,
to
yep.
think about, we own that boutique in Del Rey. So we know how much you mark it up and not how,
And we know
Right.
what
we
it
had
costs to run a store. There's no way they're putting
exactly.
that kind of money in. Plus, she doesn't have the time to put in the store. I mean, if she
Right.
did what she had and still films and does everything, there is no way, unless she had a great manager, that she is going to be able to handle that store.
Exactly.
There's just not going to happen.
Right. When I read the book, it seemed in the beginning you were very impressed with Joe Gorga.
I like
And
him.
yeah,
I always liked him. Yeah.
did he start acting different towards you though once you guys were
Mhm.
officially in business?
No, I will say that he did not. I'm going
Okay.
to say that he was always good to me. We used to have a lot of talks. He would come and meet me, and we would talk about stuff because stuff that was bothering her, he would come and talk to me about. And I
See,
gotta say, he was
uh,
really good. I gotta say, he was really
okay.
good.
That's surprising to me because I figured when it gets to money, he gets a little bit heated. And if if she's not happy, and then they might think, at a point in the book, they thought, oh, is she taking anything from us? So I thought that he would act differently towards you. But that is good to know that he stayed consistent towards you and was
He
respectful.
he was really pretty nice to me. I gotta say, for a very long time until the very end. And then that was kind of just Melissa and I. But he was always nice to me. I can't say anything really too much about him. I know
He's
they're a little bit
likable.
pushy. They're pushy. They're
Right.
pushy. Like they
Yeah.
don't want
Yeah.
to pay for anything. They go naturally. We want to do this, and you'll pay for it, right? They would say stuff like that, and that would just be like, oh, of course, man, of course, I'm going to pay for it. Like say, for instance, the grand opening, the party that we filmed, right? The grand opening party. I
Yeah.
paid for everything for that. Everything. The gifts,
Wow.
Wow.
everything. So yeah. And
Was she
so
appreciative towards you?
I,
No,
no,
I don't believe
no, I
so.
don't think so.
Oh my
I gotta
gosh.
tell you one thing. They've never bought me a drink or a meal or anything. Ever.
No
They
No
wouldn't
Ever.
even,
way.
way.
they wouldn't even
Ever.
buy a Kmart garbage can for $6,
No, she
okay?
had to have the credit card to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That
So I'm
is
telling you.
crazy,
Wow.
especially
Yeah.
because you guys were friends first and then became business partners. So you would think that
Yep.
there
Well,
would be some
you
sort
guys,
of
yeah, you guys were, I mean, not like necessarily friends, but you guys had
I
Yeah,
a nice
appreciated her.
yeah,
relationship,
Yeah.
right?
yeah.
So that is crazy that she wouldn't do that. But, I mean, when you're living paycheck to paycheck, you got to take advantage of your resources. And it sounds like,
Yep.
unfortunately, they were taking advantage of you.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yes.
mean, I feel like they totally did that.
They surely
Right.
did.
I mean, I understand to a degree they have to, and that's the deal. But you know what? There's also gratitude, and they didn't have any gratitude about
Wow.
anything that
Yeah.
I did
That's
for them.
not cool.
Because I understand their plight or whatever it was, and I don't mind to help them. But when you take advantage of it and then you treat me like a dog, That's when I'm like, okay, we're done with this program.
And
This-
you're
That
like this woman, and Joe Gorga's around you, and you're like paying for everything, and I'm like,
I
oh
know,
my
I know, I
gosh,
know,
that's
I
so
know.
uncomfortable.
The one thing
not
that
for
got
him.
the one thing that got me was when they basically told you we only fly first class and you had to pay
Oh
for
my
them to
gosh,
fly first
Yes,
yeah.
class.
yes.
He didn't
That when
care.
that, I heard that, I just started cracking up. No, but of course they only fly first class, and we're giving them. You know, she did
Yeah.
cut us a break on the price of doing the whole thing because I thought, oh, she's going to probably charge me $1 million to do it. But they wanted to go there just as well. I mean, we stayed in. First of all, if you don't know anything about Harbor Island, it's the pink sand beaches. It's like the best place in the world, if you want it, in my
Well,
opinion.
can I
In the
backtrack just
Bahamas.
so people understand what we're talking about?
Sure, sure, please do.
You went to the Bahamas with them. She was going to model some of your clothes from what I
Yes.
understand.
Yeah.
And she said, and first off, the fact that her husband's a package deal is too much for me because
Oh, but
it'd be
wait,
like,
this
I'm
is
paying
worse.
for you. I'm not paying for this man to come. Like, I'm paying for you, but she makes it a
More.
package deal because, Joe they're very territorial on each other. So
Especially in the
you
beginning.
Today's episode is sponsored by Dose, expertly formulated organic wellness shots that support your liver in one delicious drink. Not only is it scientifically backed, but it has completely clean ingredients and zero sugar and calories. It's clinically shown to support healthy liver enzyme function based on a double-blind study, plus ensures optimal liver function and improves long-term liver health. My husband has been drinking it every morning and has told all his friends about it. He says he noticed an instant change and feels so much better. With Dose, each ingredient is potent and delivers results. For example, 1 shot of Dose for your liver is equivalent to 17 shots of turmeric juice. While many other brands may talk about the individual ingredients in their products being clinically studied, what sets Dose apart is that their formula has already undergone clinical testing. If you want to give Dose a shot and invest in your health, Dose is offering All About TRH listeners 15% off your first order, plus an additional 15% off if you subscribe for a monthly delivery. That's 30% off your first order. Go to dosedaily.co/TRH and use code TRH. That's dosedaily.co/TRH and use code TRH.
Yeah, so you're sitting there and you're bringing them. This is the where you're going to do the photo shoot and everything, and you're paying for absolutely everything. And they tell you, we want to be in first class. We only fly first class, knowing they're not going to foot the bill.
And they brought their hair and makeup team.
That's right.
And they brought their hair and makeup team.
But she had
And
to pay
did
for
you give
that
them?
too.
But did you give
Yes.
them like this is how much it would cost if I brought a hair and makeup person for you? So this is how much I will pay your makeup and hair people, or no?
Oh no.
No. I just
Oh,
died laughing. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. It's in the Bahamas, man. No one notices if you have makeup on or what your hair looks like, baby doll. They just
Oh
blowing in the
no.
wind, man. She had to bring her hair and makeup people that I had to pay for too. Hair, we
wha-
called them hair and makeup because I
and
didn't
did
know
you
their
fly
names.
them out too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow,
And you never
Jackie.
you never thought like this is too much? Like why am I doing this? Because you thought the return would be better for your business. So like
I
at the
Yes.
thought,
end,
yes. I thought
okay.
really that when she did the picture, she looks great in her clothes,
Beautiful.
and we had some
Yeah,
really
she is
nice
a very pretty
mid
girl.
range products that no one else had. You're never gonna find products on Amazon that I bought. Let's just put it that way. We
Mm-hmm.
went far and wide to find clothes that were
Yep.
not like that.
They're beautiful.
And thank you. So she literally um like I was excited for her to wear those clothes and to do it. I thought that we would get a nice return from it. I thought she would post a lot about it, and I thought, that'll just soup it up a little bit because at that time they were just starting to really. I mean, they started out popular, and then there was this lull. This is when right before Teresa got out of prison. This I was on the season when she got out of prison. That's when I was
Right.
on the show. So that
Yeah.
was like yeah.
Well, if
So
I'm oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. No, that was it. That was what I was
I
gonna
mean,
say.
we
Well, if
really.
I'm going oh yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, I was just going to say that we had big posters of her in the clothes from the Bahamas, and they were
Yeah.
magnificent. And I mean, it was clothes that we had in the store. So it is true that her advertising the clothes brought us
It did.
business. I mean, that was what
Right.
Jack was all about. She's a businesswoman.
Sure.
She,
And
she don't
I
want
get
fame.
that. But if that's me and I'm going and you are footing the bill for absolutely everything, and I'm getting these pictures back and I look great. Melissa's a beautiful girl. She looks great in these pictures.
Yes.
I'm going to post it on my social media because I'm so grateful you paid for my entire team to come to the Bahamas. We're working together. So I'm going to post it on my social media because I love the pictures. I'm agreeing to do the fashion for you. So did she post on social media after?
No,
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 not. It
no,
was
she
so
really
like
did.
piecemealed. It wasn't like any like she
Oh
didn't make a
my
big deal
gosh.
out of it. She
No.
but she did have me. She wanted all the pictures and everything made, and I have to pay for it. Now that wasn't part of the deal. Like I gave her some pictures, but so if she wants all these extras for her, then that should be her deal,
Wow,
right? I mean, I paid for the whole
exactly.
trip and everything. I mean, like if she wants extras to use for herself, that's her business. I
Right?
paid for all the big ones and stuff to put in my store. Why would I pay for hers? Too.
Yeah,
So she had a fit about
absolutely.
that. So I just looked
Yeah.
at it and like
So,
it's
so the score is
just
$1 zillion, Jackie, 0, Melissa. That's your
And during
score.
yeah.
that time,
Yeah.
Joe, you're in the Bahamas with Joe, this macho man. He's like a macho man. He doesn't say, "Let me pay for dinner for you. Let me buy you a drink. I'm having
Oh
such a
no.
good time with
Hell
you."
no. Oh hell no.
Oh my
Hell
god,
no.
that is so cringe. I'm so embarrassed for him,
I'm shocked
especially
because
like,
like Italians, like
yeah,
they're very
Italian
I
like
man.
know.
yeah.
I thought for
Oh,
sure,
you're
like especially
kidding.
when they were doing photo shoots and Joe and I were sitting at the bar. I figured he'd get like, hey, let's get a drink. Here, I got you. Oh hell no. Where's the
Oh
camera
my
going?
god, that
Hell
is
no.
so embarrassing. My husband would never.
Well,
That
your
is so
husband is
embarrassing.
not him.
I know,
Yeah.
but he doesn't have. He has no. He don't care. He
He
just like
Right,
getting
doesn't
after
but
it.
we're
care.
Middle Eastern, so, like, Middle Easterns are very similar to Italians, and it's all about, it is, like, where we're from, what we're used to is, like, the men does take care of the woman in that sense and, like, her friends and all of that, so I am just surprised, like, you're doing all of this, you got this guy first class, he's not taking the photos, let him buy you a drink, let him buy you something, and
No.
Right, right. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's a package deal. She
Wow.
never wanted to go anywhere without Joe. As a matter of fact, Susie can tell you this story.
Oh my
Our
God.
Christmas party,
So,
like she drove me over the deep
oh
end.
my
And this is
God.
when I knew the next day
It
that
was
she was
going to
going to
be,
find out that we were
yeah,
squashed.
we
It
had
was
it. We
over.
can't, and Jack had a Christmas party that
Just
she
as good.
paid for. Okay. She paid for the Christmas party for the help in the store and everybody.
Of
And
course,
we
yeah.
went to this really very nice restaurant. And we did, it was just ladies. Okay. And then this gentleman we knew was there who actually is a real nice friend of ours. And he sat down at the table with us, and um, he ended up paying for everybody's everything. Okay, drinks
Yes, it was
downstairs. Excuse
expensive
me.
too.
Jack
But
paid for the
I paid for
food.
the dinner, but he paid for all
Yeah,
the extra drinks,
and
and it
he
wasn't cheap.
and she said, "Oh," when she got really pissed that he was there, and she said, "If I had known, I would have had Joe here."
She said it like 10 times. I was like, I
Oh
didn't
my
know he was going to be here.
We didn't know.
I didn't know. I'm like,
I
I'm
mean,
sorry. I
he's
didn't know he was
paying
going to.
for the drinks. Joe would have never, so appreciate it. You just saved some money,
Exactly,
girl.
and believe me, she drank.
Yeah.
Right.
But she must have told me
Right.
that 10 times that night. I was like, okay, I know. I'm sorry. I didn't know he was going to be here. I don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what
Jackie,
else to
who
tell
knows
you.
what happens behind closed doors? I mean, in any
Who knows?
relationship, right? So who knows if Joe is that type who's like, I saw another man there. Why was I not there? And he
I
gives her
know.
hell.
Yep.
You just really, you said
You
it.
don't know.
We have so many questions for you, but I have to follow up. You mentioned that Joe would talk to you and he would talk about Melissa at times. Did he say anything negative ever
Mm.
about Melissa to you?
Well, the only thing he would say was this is interesting. He wanted to change some of the ways that I was running this store, like who was running the store and whatnot. And he
Okay.
goes, I will have her here every day. I will fly her out to wherever you go and do these. I was gonna my one of my business plans, which I can tell you now, 'cause it really doesn't matter because I didn't do it. I was gonna go and do pop-up stores the next
Oh
whole
yeah.
year, like all over where she was popular, where she had like a lot of like out in the Midwest where nobody had access to her clothing and whatnot. I
Right.
was gonna go out and do pop-up stores there like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, like run the store, take a bunch of clothes, like t-shirts and some of the clothes we have a lot of. And I ordered for that, prepared for it and do the pop-ups. And then I wanted her to show up at least one day, sometime in there, out of some of the times he goes, I can promise you she'll be there. She'll be in this store working. And I thought to him, I go, yeah, right. She ain't going to be in this store working. Are you kidding me? Because he wanted me to give up the manager and give up the money. And I go, I need him because I'm going to need him to help me. I
Oh
can't do this
my
by myself.
goodness. He's
Yeah.
so
So,
cheap.
oh my God. I was like, really?
Oh,
You're going to have Melissa in here. You're going to have Melissa in here. Like, okay, right.
Yeah,
okay.
So,
Melissa
yeah,
definitely is not aware of that conversation because she would have been like, "That's a hell no." Like she had kids and they were a little
hell
bit
no.
younger then. She's
No.
not going to do
Yes.
that.
Okay.
She wasn't going to do that.
So when I
Right.
was in the store, and I'm going to tell you a funny story. So when I was in the store, and this was at the very beginning, because I would come out to help, and she was there, and I did watch the Housewives. I kind of liked her, and man, I was like, oh, starstruck, you know what I mean? And,
Right.
and she goes to me, Soundsy, with look, I want you to know everybody's just here to look at me. They're just stopping by the store, Susie, to look at me. And it's
Oh
like,
my
oh my
She
gosh.
was telling
God.
she was telling you that so that you can go and tell Jackie, like, "Oh,
Yeah, of course, of
we
course.
need
Oh
Melissa."
God.
Of course, we need Melissa. We need
Oh
Melissa.
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, that doesn't mean someone's gonna buy it and you guys are gonna make profit off of it. It means someone's gonna come in and ask for a photo. So
Exactly. Oh
yeah.
That's
my God. I
hilarious.
almost
Well, believe
died.
me, no one came in looking for her, really.
No.
No,
Right.
listen,
Right.
trust me, it wasn't.
Oh God, it was so funny.
So
Oh.
her and her husband, they're allegedly known for not ever signing contracts. It's kind of like word of
Yep,
mouth. You
yep,
touch
yep.
on this a little bit. Did Melissa sign a contract with you when you partnered up with her?
Nope, there was an operating agreement that we wanted her to sign. That basically said that, you'll get paid on the internet until you pay us back. They never signed it, never ever signed it. She argued back and forth with me for an entire year. That's what got us like crazy. It's like, look, do you want to be, I don't want to give it away, but because it's,
Yeah.
it's something we're
Right.
Yeah.
fighting about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there was like something in the contract that gave her an option. And, we're like, you got to sign the contract. Here, we're paying her for an entire year on something we don't even have a signed contract about. And I said to her at one point, I go, you need to give me a guarantee on how many times you're going to post the clothing every week. I will not give you a guarantee about anything I'm going to do. So with that, I just said,
Wow.
fine. So I didn't ask her to do anything. I didn't even speak to her for several months in there in that summer. I didn't even speak to her. I'm like, ooh, this is going to go straight
It
down
was
to the
pretty
end
awful.
because she's not going to help us. And, we can't do this.
No.
I mean, I don't want to fly back and forth for no reason to Montclair, New Jersey when I
Yeah.
have a store in Florida. It was like, no, I'm not going to do that.
Because we went on a buying trip to Vegas.
That was,
And
yeah,
yeah.
in August.
And this was when with this thing with the contract and stuff wasn't even signed. Anyway, we she would only of course fly first class. You understand that. So
Well, we
Jackie
weren't
always
gonna fly them
wanted
there.
her
We were not
involved.
gonna fly them there. We were
No.
just gonna go because she
Yeah.
wasn't helping us. So what the heck?
Wait,
So
you
Yeah, why
flied
Jackie,
would
her?
you
You paid
pay?
for that too?
no, wait,
Well, we
wait,
did,
yes, wait,
but
yeah, because Jackie wanted her involved, feel involved with the buying, she did, and so she included her, and so yes, she did get her a ticket to
and
come,
Joe
her
and Joe,
and Joe a ticket to come out there.
Oh
first
my
Okay.
class.
Okay.
gosh.
So the night before, all of a sudden, Joe had to go to the hospital for dehydration. Okay. Okay. All right. And the next day, and I said, Jackie, something's wrong. They're not coming. I'm telling you, man, you can't get your money back for these tickets. Anyway, so
Oh,
next day, she said she wasn't coming because she was also in the hospital for
Dehydration.
dehydration.
There was such a thing.
I
oh,
mean, she was so sorry, and I'll say it, I don't care, no, but she was so stupid, she couldn't even think of a disease to be in the
I know. I
hospital with.
mean, come on. You can,
wow.
So, I mean, that was pretty
So
much
what do they
it.
end up doing? Like so they're saying that they're in wherever and they're in the hospital and they can't
yep,
come?
yep.
No, they just never
They
came.
never came. They said they were in the hospital and they never came.
Yep. And I don't
And
believe
we
they
bought
went to
all
Wow.
the
their tickets, and
hospital.
we bought them like 2 weeks before that because we were just going to go and do it, buy the
Yeah.
clothes because
Yeah.
she didn't help us. She wasn't involved in it. She was mad about everything. So I'm like, well, we got to go buy clothes. So let's go. So then
Right.
she was like, I want to be involved in it. I can't believe you went. I go, okay, we can buy you tickets. We sure can.
We wanted,
Is Joe coming too? Of
oh,
course.
hi, Joe.
Okay. First class. Got you.
Right.
So we spent all that money on those tickets and then she doesn't
Never
even
This is a
showed
show.
up.
learning lesson though. No one should ever open a business if a contract is not signed, especially if
Never.
it's with Melissa and Joe Gorga.
Yep.
And
Right
this is
on.
time and
Right on.
time again that
Oh
we are
my
hearing
God.
about this. So
It's
the fact
every
that
time.
no contract was signed is insane.
right? Insane.
And especially
Insane.
because he thinks his word goes so far, but your word is the worst thing in this world because
That's
you
why he's
always
in lawsuits.
yeah, you backtrack on everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally true. That's the biggest lesson to be learned right there, guys.
Exactly.
I write about that in the book, and I write about some other stuff. But
It's
contracts are a bitch.
yeah,
Don't ever
Yeah.
sign anything until your lawyer reads it first. If you don't understand it, don't sign it.
Right.
exactly.
So there's no reason to sign it right then and there. There's just not. Well, in my case, I had to kind of in one of these situations,
Oh.
but we'll talk about that
Right.
at another
Yeah,
time. But
yeah.
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 We'll let that book come out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
they can read about that. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
honestly, that is the biggest lesson ever is don't go forward. If the contract isn't signed, stop it. Stop.
Yeah.
Don't go any further.
Absolutely.
No. Don't
Absolutely. I
don't
mean, but
trust
I know
people.
Joe is like a smooth talker, and then you could have been like starstruck maybe, and they seem like they're good people. We like them on the show. We're Team Melissa,
Yes.
whatever. So
Yes.
you
And they wouldn't embarrass themselves, you would think that like they wouldn't
right.
embarrass themselves and
Oh,
do
not
something, but
Joe, not
yeah.
No.
Princess Gorga. There's a lot that we can look up with lawsuits and Joe. So,
Oh yes.
Yes, exactly. They're not
yeah.
good people, believe
Yeah.
me.
They're not honest. Let's just put it
No,
that way.
that's right.
Right. Yeah. I
Dim
think Joe's a little bit more honest than Melissa. I will say that.
I
I
do
just
agree
think
with you.
Melissa gets carried away. And that's why, like, again, we're about to open up a second store. Like, she has nothing going on. So she wants some hype around her where people will be like,
Yes.
congrats. So that's Melissa's biggest problem. She's just like not real.
She is not. She's not, and she thinks she's like. Honestly, this is. She goes to me all the time. This is a nighttime soap opera. We're gonna be on forever. We're gonna
I
keep it
don't think
forever.
so.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, man. And she's kind of right. I mean, it is kind of the nighttime soap opera. These women seem to love it. I mean, at least in the tri-state area, they love her. They
Right.
love the concept of it all. But I mean, I get tired of watching because of fighting. I just can't deal with that. It
Yeah.
makes me crazy. But
Right.
anyway, she does think she's
did
Hollywood. I mean,
Melissa
she honestly thinks that. Yeah. Go ahead.
did Melissa ever badmouth Teresa to you?
No,
That's what I was. No, I gotta say, she never ever
no.
did. But you gotta remember too. This was before all this saga started,
Hmm.
because
Yeah.
Melissa gets she was in jail, and there would be talks. Like I know that there was on the show. I saw the show, and that she never did go see her and whatnot. But she never said a bad word about her.
Not
And
one
she never
bad
talked
word.
about it. She never brought it
No.
up. Melissa's very consumed with Melissa. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
So I didn't figure that
Yeah.
she would bring it up. She never brought it up, and we didn't ask. I mean, we didn't feel that was
Yeah,
our.
well, that's good.
I
Yeah, we
appreciate
didn't.
your honesty too. You're not just gonna
Yeah, I
say
gotta
that
say, she
she
didn't.
No,
She
she
didn't.
never
We didn't
did.
yeah.
think bad about her.
Ever
Let me
said.
tell
Did
you what I
Joe
think.
ever
Nope,
bring up Teresa?
nope. And I'm gonna tell you
Okay.
what I think about this. Honestly, I've thought about this a lot. Truly, I believe that they didn't really have. They used this beef between all of them as a storyline, and it got kind of out of hand, and people's feelings got hurt. I've seen it happen on the show many times with the
Yeah.
producers that push you to do things that you don't want to do. And I think that things were said that hurt people was hurtful, and I think that it got more out of hand and more out of hand, and to where it did turn into an ugly scene. Then, like where they were saying things and everybody got hurt. I
Right.
used to say to try to say, don't get involved, don't get too involved in it. It's just a storyline, guys. I mean, don't take it seriously. You're right. You're on TV. This is a storyline. People
Right.
think it's really real, real, real. It's not real, real, real. Those producers tell you everything they want you to hear. I'm telling you. And they'll film you over and over again until they get the right answer, the right what they want to see. And I'm just like, it's not going to happen, guys. Not
Is
seeing it.
that what you witnessed though? Did you witness
Correct.
production
Oh yeah.
recording them? Like what did you witness with production and the Real Housewives of New Jersey?
To all these classes and stuff. But this, and then they repeated it again now that they're
Right.
all fighting with each other. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do have a question. So do you and I'll explain why I'm asking. Do you believe Melissa has fake followers on Instagram? And she does on Twitter, I know that. But we've done some research and she gained 600,000 followers during last season. When we looked it was majority robots. Not even Kyle Richards
oh
gains
my
that many
God.
a
Oh my
season.
God.
Oh
I
my
can't name
God.
one housewife that has gained that many followers a season. So the reason I ask you is because you did say that you brought her along to take photos and that when she did promote some photos for you, it
Yeah.
didn't do that well. Do
No,
you believe her following is
no,
real?
no,
No.
100% no.
No.
Yeah. She
Maybe Kim
started
Kardashian does, but not Melissa Gorga.
yeah. Right.
It's
No,
all about
I
the
do
it's all
not
about the
believe. No,
engagement,
I do
and
not
if it's
believe
not
that.
there, it's not there.
I do
Right.
not believe it.
No,
She
she
loves to
does not.
capitalize on that following.
No.
She loves that.
Yeah. Right.
And No, and like the PR people that were the two. Oh, she has such a young audience, and da 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 da. And it's like I wanted to say she's not competing with her daughter, but I think she is competing with her daughter lately. I don't know with
Yeah.
these clothes that she's wearing. I'm just that's throwing that out there. That's something that came
Right.
up. But
Right.
anyway, I do not believe. No, I do not believe that she
I
has
do
that many
not believe
followers.
it either.
No
I
way.
know for sure she does not.
No,
No.
absolutely not. Okay, you've never met any of the OG housewives ever gained that many following, but it's so sad that someone cares so much about how
She does.
followers look. Like it's so sad that that's what you're consumed about. One day we're all not going to be here anymore. Social media is not going to be here anymore, and that's what
You're
you're
right.
obsessed with, not being a better person or helping others or just whatever. I mean, you can post what you want on social media, but the fact that it's all about image and looking like you have the most followers, you of all the housewives in housewife history have
Have
gained
the most.
I don't
Right.
600,000
think
Right.
so.
I don't
followers
think so. I
I
in a
don't.
don't think
season.
so. No,
Right.
I don't
It's so
think so.
crazy.
Let me tell you
S
something
Yeah.
about that. Dolores Catania does all this work and goes out there and really helps people. Like really puts her time out there and does a lot of charity work. Do you think Melissa ever does that? Hell no. People would call and ask her to do charity work all the time at the store. Would she mind doing this reading or doing this? And she will never do no.
Well,
And
sh
and
unless
I
there's money involved, I'm
right
sh
correct
assuming.
correct correct correct.
Yeah.
So I mean I believe that yeah it's very important to her to be the it girl about everything.
Oh
It
my.
is
Doesn't
very
she
important.
have a podcast too that
Yeah,
she,
she does.
yeah,
It's I
Yeah.
mean me.
it's
That's we
me.
used to
Yeah.
listen to her in a sentence. I want to say this, but I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to. We used to listen to her talk to us in like she would start a paragraph to us because she always had to speak in front of us and talk over us. But she must say the word I and me every word of the sentence is I or me. It starts with I or me. Every single sentence. I
Right.
actually wrote it down one day, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Whoa, man! We were talking about I mean, yeah."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's got that going on, she's about herself,
Right.
even
We
on her podcast, she starts about
Yeah.
everybody else and then she
We
starts
don't
talking about
listen,
herself.
so we don't know, but
R-
we've heard snips and we're just yeah,
Yeah.
to us it's I can't listen to someone who's constantly lying when we know the truth
Correct.
and can fact
Yes.
check it. So we asked our listeners, so these are listener question now. This is actually our Patreon listener questions, but we asked, a listener asked us, I'm sorry, did Melissa use the Envy credit card to pay a babysitter and buy shoes?
Yes.
Okay.
There you go.
Yes. I can
She's the
answer
accountant.
that. This is Susie. I can
Wow.
answer that. Yes, she did.
Did you
And a
confront her?
Starbucks coffee. Okay.
Wow.
And Starbucks got me.
I didn't even mind her doing that, to be real honest. I didn't. I minded that she bought a gown from another store instead of having us get it through Envy, and said she needs to help other people advertise. Like, when did she ever want to help anyone?
She
Yeah,
never.
right.
Right.
Wow. Wow. And here because she just wants it for free. And
Exactly.
We could have got it for free.
Yeah.
I could call
These.
anyone and get her a free dress. She just wanted to
right.
stick it up my ass that she didn't
Yeah. This.
advertise our store. And
We
we
had. We
Wow.
did have shoes in our store. We had great, beautiful shoes in our store, and she had to go for the reunion and go to Neiman Marcus and buy Manola Blahnik shoes.
Right.
Okay. I
yeah, she
mean,
did use the credit
She's
card for
keeping
this.
up with the Jones. Yeah.
and with
Right
our
on,
credit
man.
card, with our credit card.
Right.
Wow.
Have the Gorgas tried to stop the book from coming out, your book?
No
Have
one
you
knew.
heard from them?
Nobody.
No one knew. You were the second people that probably ever knew that this
Okay.
book was out. So let me tell you, I didn't tell
Okay.
anyone.
Have you
Yeah.
heard anything since then? Like that
No, but I'm sure
has
I
anyone
will.
Oh, I'm
Yes.
sure we're
I'm
ready.
sure
We
once this
We're
whatever.
comes
ready.
out, you
Yeah.
may.
Yeah.
Um, Another listener asked, so you ended up filing a lawsuit and you did involve Bravo in it, which you guys need to read her book because it makes sense. Like I
Yeah.
understand why Bravo was involved, but someone asked, why didn't you just drop Bravo from the lawsuit and then continue suing Melissa with it? Because Bravo's like a huge company. At the end of the day, it's going to be very hard to go against them.
Right.
But why didn't you just end up dropping them and then suing Melissa?
What do
Okay,
you
I'll tell you, you have to read the book for that. But I will tell you one thing. For me to sue Melissa was pointless. I'm not going to get any money back on that.
That's so true. Okay,
Yeah.
You
you're
know what I'm
right.
Yeah.
saying? Yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah. I
what
forgot
went on
about
there?
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you
Yeah.
going to sue her for? Her
Yeah.
pizza
Really.
place or an
Yeah.
Italian
Yeah.
restaurant?
Right.
You're not going to get
Yeah.
anything back on that. So,
I
I
totally
got
get.
millions of dollars out on a store here, and I'm not going
Yeah.
to get a dime back on that one. So,
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
no. I didn't even think about that. That's so
yeah,
true.
everybody says that, and I'm like, well, I wonder what. Let's think about,
She
because like
doesn't
no
what
one,
does she
I would,
have?
yeah, you
Yeah.
can't sue her. She doesn't have it. And another thing was, I don't want to put her in jail with. She has 3 kids. You know, I'm not gonna like go to her and like, okay, you know, because you said
Right.
this, I want to put you in jail, or because you did this, I want to put you in
They
jail.
also put the words in their mouth, like we were saying
Yeah, the
before. So
producers. Yeah,
yeah,
so
they are the
you know,
ones that told her to
to
say
say
it.
there's certain things, and
Okay,
that's where that comes from.
you know.
Correct.
Production
Mhm.
is you're saying
Yes.
production told her
Correct.
to say
Correct.
certain
Yeah.
things about
Yep.
you?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I know you go into more detail on the book, and I want people to buy the book,
It
but
was such an easy read too, so please
yeah, it
buy
was
it. It was
great.
so good.
Right.
If
Thank you. Thank
yeah,
you.
but can you tell our listeners if Melissa put any money in the store? Yes or no? Did she put
Not one
any
dime.
money? Okay,
No.
put
No,
no one dime.
Not one dime. Not one
Gosh,
dime.
no.
that's nice. You like you just come in and
I know. Not
don't
one
do
dime.
anything. And
Not one dime.
yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
Not one dime.
Did
uh,
did you Oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, ask.
I was gonna ask, did Melissa's family, like her sisters, ever come around and hang out at the store a lot?
Sometimes they would come.
And
I
how
saw
was
them sometimes.
that?
Very nice. They're very nice to me. I can't say anything bad about them. They were very nice to me. I don't
Okay.
know them that well, but they were always nice to me. I
Wow.
can't say anything bad about them.
Yeah,
Can't.
we're
I
like,
don't. I
wow,
don't know
because
them very
I know, wow,
well.
I'm shocked. I feel like Kim is a decent person. I feel like Lisa is just very involved in her sister. So I was
Yes, I think
curious to
so.
see if, yeah, I was curious to see if, she would involve herself or say stuff. But I also can just see them being excited that Melissa has a store that's named after her because they
Yeah,
think she's like Angelina Jolie.
they do think she is Angelina Jolie. They do. And all of her family feels like she's the Hollywood star. They do.
Right. Well, listen, I'd want my daughters to think that of each other,
Right. I
but
kind of.
just don't
It's
get
sadly.
involved, Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Correct.
'Cause that's my
You know
problem with her sisters is you can think your sister, have her, but whatever, but don't get involved in something and talk about other people when
that
you're
you know
not
nothing
involved in
about.
it. Yeah,
Correct.
you're not
correct.
That's
in
what
it.
that stuff
That's my
burns me when people
problem.
say stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they don't know anything. No one ever knew my side of the story. I didn't talk about it because the reason that I wrote this book is one, Susie and I decided after 7 years, I just keep seeing these things on these podcasts. Oh, do they lie or do they not lie? Let me tell you something. There was never any truth about what they did to me or anybody else that I knew of. So, right then and there, I'm just like, let me just tell the side of my story so people understand. I mean, I'm not lying about it. I included every legal document that I
Oh,
thought pertained
yes.
to this on the
Yes.
book, in the
Yeah.
book.
There's QR
Because I'm not
codes.
just writing this book and saying, oh, I said this or I did this. There's every legal document that says exactly what I'm saying. So
Exactly.
there is no lying going on here
Nope.
that I
Right.
can prove.
No.
And, I feel like, yeah, they just, they're liars. And it was time to expose them. And I didn't want it to feel like, I didn't want people to think it's sour grapes. Like, oh, she screwed me. And then I said, oh, you're a loser and you're a liar or a thief and whatever. I didn't want people saying it's sour grapes. Like I'm
Right.
preaching sour
And to
grapes.
be honest with you, once you read the book, because I'm not giving it away, but you will know they're not only liars, they're dangerous liars.
Yeah,
Right.
some things
Okay?
are not good that they
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
There's
They don't
dangerous
understand
liars.
what
Yeah.
happens there when you
So,
say things like that about
Right.
people.
Um,
yep.
so I have a question. Why do you think, by the way, that Melissa ended up moving the store from Montclair to Ridgewood? Because she's the one who chose Montclair. So
Yes,
why?
she did.
A
Yeah,
terrible location, not a great location. She should have
right.
chosen Upper Montclair if she wanted to have, Montclair is an older town, and the Upper Montclair is more what I would have chosen. But Ridgewood is a happening little town. It's got a lot of boutiques over there. I haven't been there for a while, but I might assume that the rent might be a little cheaper. I'm not sure. But
Okay,
having the case, maybe the woman lives over there. Whoever's backing her wanted her to move over there. I don't know. Montclair was never a great choice of mine.
right. So it
Ridgewood would
sounds
have
like
been a
she
much
got a
better choice.
silent partner, though.
She's definitely. I mean, I would say. I would certainly, absolutely
I
think
don't
that
think
that's.
they have any money involved in it because
I
I
don't
don't
think they have
think
money
they have
involved in it.
credit. I don't think they have money.
Right.
Period.
Do you remember Derek, her store manager,
Yeah.
Yeah.
or your store manager? Was he actually involved in leaking stories about things that happened on the Housewives? Teresa, do you know anything
Don't.
about that?
I don't really know much about that. I can't say much about that because I don't really know. I didn't talk too much about that with him, and he never said too much. He's a star wannabe too. He's a Hollywood. So I never really know too much about him. I don't.
Did he
And I'm
gossip
glad
a
I
lot,
don't.
though?
He's a little bit of a gossip, but like
Yeah.
I didn't hang around with him. I don't really know what he said. I chose not to be around him. He was very good at what he did, like setting up things like the videos and the filming and all the things. He was good. But
Right.
I think that he also was a troublemaker. Yes, I do believe he
Yeah.
probably was. I
Yeah.
do believe that.
How
But
how So I have a question. How do you feel when on the show Joe's talking to Melissa about spending too much time at the boutique and not being home to take care of his needs, but then he tells you, "We don't need a
Right,
manager. Let
right.
Melissa come here every single day."
That
That's
was
so
the storyline.
confusing.
Yeah, that was
That
just
was
for
the
show.
storyline about him.
Mhm.
Yeah, totally for show about her spending too much time at the store. She never spent time at that store. Never. I
Wow.
mean, not at all. I mean, I don't even. I could say throw you an hour amount, but I would be probably be off. But she doesn't spend much time there. She would go there for like book signings or like she was supposed to be there for Teresa's book signing, but Teresa didn't know where her books were, so we couldn't do that. But she would be there for like the
Right.
grand openings or like if they have something special, she would
Yes,
be there.
yes,
She'd
she
run in
did.
to grab clothes and stuff, but that was it.
That was it.
She didn't spend any time there.
Right. Why was Melissa, by the way, given a percentage of the net sales if the Gorgas were not owners and invested no money? Was it just because again
That
you
yeah.
didn't sign the contract?
That was part of the storyline. Or that was part of the deal. Was that that's what I guess it's sort of how Kyle did it. I guess is they got she gets 20% for advertising the store, but she wouldn't post. So that's like where we came to like odds with it because at least if you're getting paid 20% of the internet until you pay off our initial bill, and then she got 20% of everything, then here was my deal. Like if you're not gonna post it, then we're not gonna pay you because you're not promoting the store. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? By having me on it doesn't promote the store. I mean, whatever. I
And
was
she
on it.
knows that.
Yeah, it didn't promote the store. She would not. She was like really angry about it, and she would not guarantee me any post,
I never
anything. So I
understood
guarantee you
that.
that the store she's doing now, they're because she posts a lot. They're telling her,
She
"Well, if you don't
posts
post, you're done,
quite a
sister."
bit.
She
She
doesn't.
posts.
Yes,
Yeah. But she's probably listen, like we said, we're in a recession right now. These boutiques are not doing what they
they're
used to
not
do.
doing well.
So she's like, "Oh my gosh, we're probably if she does have any money in it, and I don't think she has 100% money, but I think maybe she has some now money
What's
in
my
it.
Monday?
I don't know, that's just my opinion, I don't know for sure, but, I just feel like so because she's promoting so much because she's like, "I have something to lose," whereas and with you, she took advantage of you and she's like, "I have nothing to lose."
Well, the thing is, I know that she was really worried about her job because she didn't have a storyline, and so this was her
Mm.
storyline. And so I feel like this carries on as part of her storyline. Is it's the only thing she knows how to do. It's like okay, well I better do what I need to do to make it, because what else is she gonna have, really, or fight with Teresa?
I don't
Yeah,
think
That's
I don't think she wanted anybody to think
she.
that the other store closed because she couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I think
So
right.
so I'm sure
that's
she got
probably part of it.
moved from there.
They don't want anybody to know that they
That's
can't.
right. They don't
That
want
money's
anybody
tight with
the
them.
truth. That's all. I mean,
Eh
And
this
that's the bottom line. Is it was
yeah,
then. I don't know what their story is now. I would never. I don't count people's money, but I'm just
exactly.
saying when they were with us, that was the case.
Yeah, they couldn't even
right.
get credit, so that's bad.
Oh, wow. What do you mean they couldn't get credit? Did they
Well, they
have,
didn't have
like
credit. No,
They
they didn't
didn't
have
have
credit card
no,
to,
they didn't have
to
a
she didn't
credit
have a credit
card.
card to put stuff on.
wow. So, yeah, wow, that's
Because they probably owe
interesting.
so much money all the time.
And yeah,
Well, it
no
could
one's going
be.
to approve it. I do have one final question. I don't know if Chantal has any more, but you talk a lot about this in the book, but how true is the story? So you can just kind of touch on this, but how true is the
Uh-huh.
story told by Melissa about you basically cleaning out the whole store without her knowledge?
Okay, I can talk about that because it's pretty funny. She knew this that I was going to take this stuff out of the store.
Oh God.
You'll see that in the legal documents. She knew that was coming. She didn't know when, but I told her that I'm going to take the stuff out of the store.
Right.
And
Right.
I did it in the middle of the day with the police department 1 block away. So if there was a problem that she had with it, she would have called the police, and I would have been arrested. There you go.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
period.
yeah,
that's so
I told her,
true.
you know what? I tried to like sell the stuff there, and she didn't want to call it a liquidation because then it would affect her business when she reopened the store. She wanted to buy me out, but she said when she reopens the store, which
She
is
don't
so
want to buy
stupid.
out. Nope.
I mean, she was set up with all the stuff there. Oh, okay, you're not gonna buy me out. Well, then okay, for what's fair is fair. And then I'm gonna. And then she was just a pain in my ass. She would be like, "Oh, so and so sitting in my chair." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Your chair?
Oh my gosh, you're
Your
barely
chair? You don't
here.
own anything in the store right now. I'm
Right.
done demolishing and I'm
You
selling
you must
everything."
understand that her lawyer and all said Jackie can have her merchandise.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's my
so
merchandise.
Jackie
I'm
did.
taking it.
That was
Everything.
her lawyer that gave the okay to do that.
Yeah, I mean, we have all that
Right.
whispered in there,
It's
but
silly.
so
So
I
you
took
didn't
it all.
get bought out? You didn't get any money, you just left?
Yeah, she wasn't gonna buy me
Oh,
out.
she was a
She would have paid me
nightmare.
$100,000 over 4 or 8 years. I'm like,
You
that's
didn't
not gonna work for me.
understand.
That's not gonna happen. They wouldn't pay me anyway. So I just took the clothes and moved them out. And the only person that I could think in my head at the time that owned a boutique there was Kim D. So, and I didn't even really know Kim D at the time at all. And I called her and I said, look, I don't want to get in the middle of all of it, but I do know you and I know you have a boutique. Can you help me with this merchandise? And she said, bring it on. So that was the story. That's how I met her. She was
Wow.
very good to me, Kim D.
Yeah.
Is always
Yeah,
very
we
good
love
to
There
me.
you
Kim.
go.
And Kim
Yeah.
D doesn't make up stories. She doesn't lie about stuff.
Yeah.
She
Right,
doesn't.
yeah. How much money did you lose overall?
Ooh.
Do you know?
I think our profit and loss statement, the last one, this is before all the other stuff we lost too, was probably about $300,000 we lost. But then you got to add all the stuff that we lost after that. You know, like the clothes depreciated, and we sold them off and whatever for whatever. It's probably about a
Right,
million
something.
dollars. About $1 million.
Yeah, I'm sure you did.
Wow, that's
Wow.
horrible.
Well,
Yeah, it was terrible.
people need to buy Jackie's book, okay?
It's
So
okay.
Let's get it to
Yes.
300,000.
Yeah, right. Let's
yeah.
get you 300.
Yeah.
Oh
Well,
gosh.
yeah. Chantal, do you have
It's
any more
funny.
questions?
No. Do
No, I
you?
don't.
I
This
got
has
to
been
say to
great.
you
You
guys,
guys have been awesome.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
guys are totally terrific, and I thank you so much for doing this. It was really, really fun,
Course.
and
Thank
I'm
Yeah.
you
glad.
so much. We will put
Thank
a
you.
link about your book and everything. So once it's for sure published, again, we're going to post this as soon as it's published. We
Thank
will put
you.
a
Thank
link,
you.
but we appreciate you guys so much for coming on and talking to us and answering all our questions. And we wish you
Thank
the
you.
best of luck and all the success in the world.
You
Thank
too.
you.
You
You
too,
guys
guys.
too.
Best to you.
Thank
You
you.
are
Yeah.
awesome.
All
We
Thank you.
right.
appreciate it.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Of
Take good care,
course.
Of
guys.
course.
Okay.
Thank you
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.